We're on to Psalm 37 today, and this is a longer one. It's 40 verses, but it's got some really good stuff to say. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Before we do that, this psalm is set up more like a sermon than it is a song. It's not calling us to necessarily come into worship of God, but to instruct us in a lot of different stuff, right? And this psalm is really about how to overcome. How do we overcome envy when we see people around us succeeding and we're failing, or we see people around us that seem to be growing in what they're doing, and whatever it is we're doing, we're just stuck in it, right? So how do we overcome envy? And that's what this psalm is going to help us look at and kind of understand. So I'm going to go read all of it. And then we're going to break it down just a little bit, not too much, though, because I don't want the video to be too long, because it is a long one. So Psalm 37, if you want to follow along, it says, of David, fret not yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will act. He will bring forth patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself. It tends only to evil. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land. And just the wicked will be no more. Though you look carefully at his place, he will not be there. But the meek shall inherit the land, and delight themselves in abundant peace. The wicked plots against the righteous, and gnashes his teeth at him. But the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he sees that his day is coming. The wicked draw the sword and bend their bows, to bring down the poor and needy, to slay those whose way is upright. Their sword shall enter their own heart, wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholds the righteous. The Lord knows the days of the blameless, and their heritage will remain forever. They are not put to shame in evil times. In the days of famine they have abundance, but the wicked will perish. The enemies of the Lord are like the glory of the pastures. They back, but the righteous is generous and gives. For those blessed by the Lord shall inherit the land, but those cursed by him shall be cut off. The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he delights in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be cast headlong, for the Lord upholds his hand. I have been young, and now am old. Yet I have not seen the righteous. He will not forsake his saints. They are preserved forever. But the children of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell upon it forever. The mouth of the righteous utters wisdom, and the tongue speak justice. The law of his God is in his heart. His steps do not slip. The wicked watches for the righteous and seeks to put him to death. The Lord will not abandon him to his power, or let him be condemned when he is brought to trial. Wait for the Lord and keep his way, and he will exalt you to inherit the land. You will look on when the wicked are cut off. I have seen a wicked, ruthless man spreading himself like a green laurel tree, but he passed away, and behold, he was no more. Though I sought him, he could not be found. Mark the blameless, and behold the upright. For there is a future for the man of peace, but transgressors should be altogether destroyed. The future of the wicked shall be cut off. The salvation of the righteous is the Lord. He is their stronghold in the time of trouble. The Lord helps them and delivers them. He delivers them from the wicked and saves them because they take refuge in him. So obviously that is a long one, but there's a lot of just really incredible stuff in here. And the main idea of how to overcome envy is understanding from verses 1 and 2, really the main idea here. Fret not yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers. Why? For they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Right? They don't last. the Bible tells us and God promises us that the wicked, they're going to pass away, right? All things pass away. But when the wicked are gone, they won't be remembered, right? That they won't be remembered in the kingdom, and unless they turn to righteousness, well, then they pass away. So we don't have to envy those who won't last, right? What they have now is all they're ever going to get, right? And it's about understanding that and understanding that hey, instead of being envious of them, because honestly they have something, or we have something that they don't have. We have something far more valuable than they do. They just don't understand it. They don't see that, right? And they're going to pass away. So we shouldn't be envious, because ultimately they're not going to last, but we will, right? And so verses 3 through 9 help us to see this, help us to understand this idea, right? Because it allows us to look up and not into our circumstances, right? And when I say that, what I mean by that is it's calling us to look up to God, right? To set our eyes on God. We trust in Him. Verse 3 tells us we trust in God, right? Verse 4 says we delight in Him. 5 and 6, we commit to Him. And 7 through 9 says we be still before Him, right? When we feel envious or we're worried about being envious, instead of looking into our circumstances or into the circumstances of our neighbor or our friends or our enemies or whoever, instead of looking in, we look up. We compare ourselves to God. And we look at the blessings that God has given us, right? We don't worry about everybody else. Envy, right, and comparing yourself to other people robs you of joy. It robs you from being able to enjoy the things that God has given you and the blessings that you have. So we don't want to look in to our circumstances, but we want to look up. The second section here, 10 through 22, tells us to look ahead, not here, right? Now, this morning I talked about, not worrying about the problems of tomorrow and the issues of tomorrow, right? That today's issues are enough, right? They're sufficient for today. That's not what this is talking about, right? This is talking about seeing beyond in the eternal perspective of what's to come, right? And again, this goes back to the fact that we have something that they don't have, that the wicked don't have. And that is a relationship with God. And we should be calling them into that. We should be asking them to come and showing them why this is a better way. But ultimately, if they remain wicked, their fate is far worse than what we have here today. So we look ahead, not here, right? The next section is 23 through 29. It talks about looking through, not at, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, let's turn to 23 through 29. The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he delights in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be cast headlong, for the Lord upholds his hand. I have been young, and now I am old. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken or his children begging for bread. He is ever lending generously, and his children become a blessing. Turn away from evil and do good, so shall you dwell forever. For the Lord loves justice. He will not forsake his saints. They are preserved forever, but the children of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell upon it forever, right? And we can look through our issues and not at. We can look through our envy and not at it. We can look through the blessings that God has given us and not at it, and remember and believe and bless his people. The next little section, 30 through 34, talks about looking over and not down, right? We don't ever want to cast our eyes down. We want to look over our issues, trust God to defend us, right? We can overlook offense. We can overlook persecution. We can overlook when those who seem to be doing wrong get more than we do. We can overlook those because we trust God to defend us. And that's a common theme throughout Psalms, that we can trust in God. And when we fail or when we feel like we don't measure up, we don't have to look down in shame or defeat. We can look up to God. in the last section, 35 through 40. Look to, not for, right? Look to God. Look to His word. Look to His blessings. Not for them. Understand that they're already there. Embrace the fact that they're already there. Consider the evidence of what God has done in your life, right? Don't go looking for those things that will perish. Don't go looking for the people who will perish. Don't go looking for the goods that will perish. But go looking to God, who is never changing and is always there. Now, envy is something that we all deal with, whether it be a lot, and I'm excited about what God has got coming up for us. We've got some cool guests coming, and I pray that you enjoy those as well. So if you need to go back through and read this one again, go ahead. Like I said, it's a long one. Spend some time with it, and that'll be great. So I love you guys, and we'll talk to you later.